So, continuing in part two, the American perception, because that's what we're going to look at, it expresses different levels of concern, as I stated before. Um, Americans are most concerned when they're presented with a scenario in which a minor is being sex trafficked. It's not surprising. It's framed by political elites and the media, and we only know what they share if we don't do some research into it. Americans expressed more concern when the victims were U.S. citizens, when presented with male victims compared to female victims. And a heightened concern is that males victimizing other males. So that exposure creates even more concern. Now, the general public view I talked about, they don't know that it's happening unless someone brings their attention to it or it becomes closer to home. The males, like I said before, are less represented. So let's do a little true or false. True or false? Trafficking includes some form of travel or transportation across borders. Nope. It's domestic work. A lot of times people are sex trafficked. They have people that work for them. In agriculture, people that work, I would say, in the fields and things that are at their home, traveling sales crews. Sometimes we see these young kids that go to door and they're selling things and someone's in charge of them, but we're never really sure who. So that could be a red flag. And the restaurants and food service industry, I think because of the busyness, maybe not in a small area, but a lot of people pass through there too. True or false? Human trafficking has been reported in every single state in the United States. True. So I took this graph as to show that human trafficking made up 79% of the human trafficking cases. Here's some demographics, and I think this is a good chart that represents the different age, gender, and ethnicities. So adults, there were more, and look at the 7,000 unknowns. Gender, 3 times, 4, 5, 6 times as much, 7 times as much. Females are sex trafficked. And the top reported ones are Latinos, then Asians, followed by the African and African American, Black, and then finally the whites, and then multiracial. The statistics, I want to point out especially that DOT that's in St. Louis, that's in Missouri, we should be concerned. Okay, and those are some statistics we get from that. California consistently has the highest human trafficking areas, the rates in the United States as of 2019. So solutions, we're looking for some solutions to help. Well, there's women's rights organizations, and what they do is they bring awareness, and they're mostly concerned with sex trafficking rather than the umbrella under human trafficking. They advertise, they shame states, they work politically. They provide direct services through social services. They work in the field. It makes it more difficult to traffic women if you're out there working and seeing eye to eye. They work on campaigns to inform youth on how to prevent being trafficked, and education to specialists that work with vulnerable populations. So this is a great resource and solution. Direct services are those social services I was mentioning that are out there trying to help. There are some other things that doctors, counselors, and things can help with. So campaigns and education is another thing. You have to educate people. You have to teach them what this is about. Because I'm in this course, it means I'm a little more informed. Then there's something that they have done called the TVPA, and I'll deal with that in the next slide. And documentaries. Documentaries educate people, and they're much better than TV shows are made for movies. They show more real life situations, and they seem to have more effect. So this is part 2 of my screencastify, and I have a few more minutes that I